Hello, everybody. Welcome to my podcast, Open to the Universe QHHT. My name is Jen Martinez, and I am a practitioner for QHHT and other modalities. So, QHHT is Quantum Healing Hypnosis Technique, and that was developed by the late Dolores Cannon. I'm a level 2 practitioner. As there is only 3 levels, but really the third level, if you're really into something, you can always go to the top of anything. And I'm as well an Akashic record reader, which is just your soul's journey. And I am a Reiki practitioner, which again is just clearing any energy that is stuck in you and neutralizing it. And just really calming the nervous system down. So that's why I love all my modalities. It's great. It's it's an amazing gift to go through and realize that these are in us already, these modalities. We are magnificent beings. We just unfortunately have had people around us or belief systems that, you're like not always, what am I trying? I've had a loss for words. And I was so excited to come on here, but your self-worth and your self-image is really important. And those sometimes get tainted by old belief systems and people around us. So that is why I love my modalities, because it clears it up. It keeps you grounded, keeps you focused, just focused on living the best you. It's not focused on trying to make $1 million, trying to do all these big, you get to, if you're grounded and centered, you can create those things, but it's not always that, we don't always need a ton of money. And I think now where my mindset is if you have abundance in your life and it's other things that are abundance, that's just as wealthy as having all that money. Loved ones, things in your life that you just enjoy so much. Some of us love the nature and we live in the mountains or by the ocean, or some of us really just like the city and we want to experience what it's like in the city, and do the bus. Hi, Carlos. And I always think about that and do the train system and the trolley carts and all of that. It's so fascinating that we're here on this earth all together and we're experiencing life. And however that is for us, we all have something going on different. And it's amazing to me. It really is truly incredible that we are here and that we're experiencing life and that we have trial and error, and we can really go down on ourselves as far as low self-esteem, low self-image, when really we're amazing. We're incredible people, incredible beings. We're here in the universe on planet Earth. Going galactic, as I always say in any of my podcast. I just actually did a podcast with a friend and it's called Living in the Now. So if you'd like to look that up, we did an interview with Rainey, our good friend. And so Justine and I decided to do a together podcast outside of my normal Open to the Universe, just to bring in more people, different situations, because really my podcast, I just really want to talk to you guys and, give you guys little nuggets of amazing information that could, help you along during the day. Obviously, we have to get out there, work, do our thing, be out in the world doing it, making the world turn, is what I say. Um, and that's okay. That's the most amazing part about it. I look at the people before us. I am a senior caregiver as well. And so hearing the amazing stories of how it was in their lives, some of them had trial and error. Some of them went through multiple divorce. Some didn't get married until 30 and then no kids or tons of kids. So it's really interesting, what we've been through, them working really hard, them having their, no, just hearing their every day is like you really realize how precious your life then becomes because now you're in that play. Now you're in that act. You're the one who is that age now and living your truth, hopefully living your truth. And what does that look like? Maybe just being a really great person, compassionate a little bit. And I get it. Being compassionate in certain areas is a little tricky. So, it's just you finding that perfect balance for your area and your daily job because and just know that you're that light for people. I think that's really going to be my biggest message today is that we're all kind of going through it. Everything's happening all at once right now. We're experiencing heartache and a burst of love and heart. So it's like both ways. And that can detour us too, just as we think we're on a certain track or a certain path. And just know there is really no path. What your path is just being your truth. And when you live your truth, that light shines. And then others then who may be struggling with self-worth, self-confidence, all of that, just their self-image, and they see, you shine your best, you being your truth, whatever that is, even if you're in the same job and you're just doing it and you're just like, I don't want to do this anymore. If another job doesn't pop up for you and that's what you have to do, that's okay. You just embrace it. You keep yourself centered. I think that's important. I think that happens a lot to us is that we get so stretched thin and we haven't really learned the technique of keeping ourselves centered. What does that mean? Keeping yourself centered, keeping yourself grounded. You actually really don't, and I hate to say it, you really don't need to go to therapists and things like that. That's just kind of a band-aid. And half the time it's a little torturous. I get a lot of those people and they're like, oh, I have to take a pill. And I'm like, what? Oh my goodness. Okay. It's your nervous system. We're stuck in fight or flight. We got to survive. We're out with the wolves. We're out with the, you've got to survive. You've got to protect. So that's literally fight or flight. You get annoyed by people. You get annoyed easily. You can't be that compassionate person because, again, when you're in that mode, fight or flight, you're not going to be able to be compassionate. You're not going to be able to see someone's side. If you get in a fender bender and you're just outraged, but that person was having a really bad day, I mean, all hell could have broke loose for that person. But you're like, I don't care. I'm working. I'm stretched thin. So do you know what I mean? And that all comes to a head. And that's why you had a fender bender or whatever it is that could have stopped you in your tracks. So looking at it in a more of a compassionate way of like, wow, that could have been worse. I'm glad it wasn't as bad. And going into it in a different energy is everything, honestly. And it's not easy. I get that for sure. But staying grounded, staying centered, then it is easy. So it's dedicating some time to you, for yourself, for you to go within and for you to say, every day before work, whatever that time is, if it's the morning, if it's the night or evening, whatever, we all work any day of time. And so whatever that is, and you're going into this, so I must be compelled. I feel some energy because I'm explaining this work scenario a little bit more. And so I realize that's usually because the ones who are going to listen to it really need it. And it's centering yourself. It's, we always joke around and say, stop and smell the roses, right? When that's an analogy. Well, it kind of is. But at the same time, we're going to flip it and we're really going to stop and we're really going to appreciate, hey, you know what? It's springtime. Maybe it's not roses. Maybe it's lilies or daffodils or whatever is blooming. It's not necessarily any particular flower, but stopping and appreciating nature and appreciating what's around you. Because I feel like we get so fight or flight, so focused. Oh, I got to wake up. Oh, I got to do the same thing. I got to go get my drink from McDonald's. I got to go do this. And then I have all this hard work to do. And my boss is driving me nuts. And I just don't know if I can bear it. And I feel so lost and I feel so confused. Those things all get stored in you. And so every day they pent up, and now as we're going into the future, you can't do that so much. You feel like you're losing it. It feels like you could jump off a cliff. Um, it feels like you're losing it. It just does. I had some things going on, so I wasn't able to meditate, but I started to feel that energy, that downness that we can all get to. And, and we almost do have to hit rock bottom to see the light, and that's okay. My words are only to just raise you up, make you, just let you know it's okay and that you have support in certain ways. And I may be far away and I may be only through here online, but you can definitely always reach me through my email or going to dolorescannon.com. I am a practitioner on there. So, like I said, and then as well for my Akashic Records, I did that training through debbiesolaris.com. And so I'm posted on there as certified. And then as well for the Reiki, it's Reiki International Association. And I'm posted as well as a Master Reiki. So reaching out, that would be great. I would love to be able to help you guys, guide you. It's really just guiding you. It's really just saying you already know the next steps, but it's like you need this extra support of that's why we're here. That's why we're all together. It's so we can support each other. It's never been oh, I'm the only one who can ever do holistic healing, or anyone big they're the only ones. It's like, no, we all are souls with a human experience. So, and we're here because it's tricky, because 3D energy to 4D energy is tricky. It's deceiving. It's manipulating. It's tricky. You definitely have good days where you could see that it's so great, and you can see it, and you can see the greater good, and you can see God in everything, and God in you. And I don't mean the man up. Like God for me is expansive. Is all that is. That is so pure love. That is just this ball of light, really. No man, no woman, nothing like that. It just is. And when you release all of these criteria of just knowing, of saying, oh, it's this way, oh, it's that way, when you release that and you just absorb that light and you just feel like it's almost like a moth to the flame, that's the feeling. And it's so amazing. It's so beautiful. It's so easy. You can, down deep under those layers. I know we've all been through it. We've all have different scenarios. Not one is better or worse than the others. We've all done it, you guys. That's the other thing. We think that, we just had this, our soul had just this one life. We have a soul. If the soul leaves the body is done. The body is earth. The soul is heaven. We're merging these beautiful entities together that is so beautiful and so embracive. And as well, Earth's doing the same thing. She as well is very alive. I mean, obviously, you see the trees, you see the flowers. It's so alive. And I live in the mountains, and it's amazing. And just It really is everything. And it doesn't matter where you live, it just matters that you're doing your best you. You're being your best you. Maybe that is putting 10 minutes while you're getting ready and you can listen to something that gets your attention of refocusing yourself. Or maybe that's just you saying, today's going to be a great day. I know it is. And things like that by saying and uplifting yourself versus cranking the music up, listening to some program stuff, like music that can tend to damper our what it's doing is blocking us from evolving. Because I don't know anyone who listens to all of that rough music and then evolves. I don't. And if there is someone out there who listens to the hardcore, rough, like, I don't even know, rap, those kind of things, and they're evolving, I'd like to know that because I would be very curious about that because everything I've ever seen, it destructs our cellular structure. It numbs us to where we don't want to evolve. Like, and I mean evolve by releasing this fight or flight, by telling ourselves that it's okay, that you know, I know not even just that you're okay, but it's I'm trying to find the right word for that, is just more of like this peace that you get into yourself of the all knowing, you are great. You are great. You you're doing it. I kind of lost my little train of thought there, but I get so excited to explain some of this stuff and be so I get so passionate. Um, and just keeping yourself centered and grounded. So going back to that, and when I say centered, it's generally your chakras. Um, as a Reiki master, basically, we're all that. It's just we've forgotten our technique. And again, like I'm saying, that music, it kind of destructs that cellular structure of us as far as us remembering that. It keeps us down. We're not focused on evolving. Um, and that's okay. I mean, there are some people that are just going to do that, and there's no judgment. I guess it does come down to judgment, not judging others, because at the same time you're judging yourself, because that's the reflection, from me to you. There is a reflection, and you are going to critique or judge, or I mean, that's kind of in our fight or flight personality. We judge, we ridicule, and I think once we get more centered and clearing our chakras, and finding a Reiki practitioner. I can do Reiki online. Energy is amazing, and it's so incredible once you really get to play with it, like what I do, and releasing what doesn't serve you rejuvenates you. You get out of the fight or flight. You realize that you get more into the joy, the appreciation of life, being more compassionate. And like I said, certain areas you're going to have to navigate that. That's all you. That's on you to decide where you need to be compassionate and not compassionate. Because I get it. In certain areas, I have been to the big cities and I realize that it's like, okay, this is good. This is good for me, because I live in a very quaint little town, not tons going on. And so, but then going to a big town, I can realize, you can't just run around and try to help everyone and be so compassionate and just try to be, I mean, you could, but people would be like, what? So, so really, I just mean, like, for instance, if you're that light and you naturally like to hold the door for someone, and they may slam the door on the person behind them, but guess what? That light of you holding the door for them as you come out of a building or go into a building, um, that right there triggers them to go, wow, oh my gosh, that was really nice. You know, most people just slam the door in my face. No one ever holds it for me, and you held it for them, and you gave them that perspective. And that right there is what I mean by your light goes into their light, and it awakens them. You know, we're actually asleep, and I mean asleep to know that the heavens are the universe, and that we can communicate through our minds, and through the chakras. Actually, it's the cellular structure inside of us, the chakras. Is that what I was talking about? And we have 7 major chakra energy sources in us. And when we meditate, which is a tricky thing at first, you know, um, when I first started meditating, I used to always laugh because I'm like, what is going to even pop up? What's going to happen? What's even, you know, like this is silly because I never even prayed. So I come from that, you know, I just grew up and we kind of just poverty. And so we just didn't, my mom just never taught us about, you know, um, church and all of that, and praying. And I didn't even know about God. I didn't know nothing. And then one day out of the blue, about, I would say now it's been about 8, 9 years ago, um, that popped up and my friend said, do you want to meditate? And I thought, okay, what's this about? You know, what's meditating? Because to me, when I would think of meditation, it would be like Buddha or monks, you know, not anything that like regular people do. I mean, there's people who pray and that's so sweet. You know, I never have dissed it. I never would criticize or say, oh my gosh, those people are where they're praying. I'm not that person. Um, so when I did do it, I used to laugh at first, and nothing really actually happened until I gave it an honest effort. And I started to do it all the time, like 10 minutes at first and then 15, just depending on my schedule and everything. And so when I started doing that, I started to get a connection coming through. And of course, we connect to the higher part of ourselves. But for me, I was connecting to galactic. I didn't know that at first. I had no clue. And then as I was doing this and meditating and putting my time in, QHHT came to me, quantum healing hypnosis came to me. And then when I went into there, I actually had a session on myself as a practitioner. We could practice with classmates. And that's really where I got my truth of my galactic connection. I have lots of bridges. I have probably more than 5. But 5 is what's popping, like what I'm like thinking of like the ones, you know. I have Orion, I have Andromedan, I have Octurian, Syrian guides, and Palladian guides. Um, I love it. So it's so fun. So when I give you a galactic reading, it's generally meant to be, and it's generally your galactic family wanting to connect back to you. And that's really the part where I say we have like amnesia, we're asleep. There's just a lot of us that don't want to know that, don't want to be a part of that. So that's why I understand, like, yeah, you can be a good person and compassionate, but there has to also be somewhat of a structure to it. You don't want to scare everyone, is my point. You don't want to be like, praising out loud. I mean, there's just some things that it would be really weird. I get that. But I just going back to my galactic connection, that helped me meditate. And then when I realized I had that there, I was still kind of hung up in my fight or flight. I was always worried about changing jobs and what that would look like for me. I've always kind of somewhat had the same job. I did a lot of numbers, worked for the bank. I can do it. And again, like I was saying, it's like some of us, it's okay to stay in that job. I definitely could have, but I realized for me, It was a bigger picture there. It was just something bigger, broader. And then as I continued doing this, I was clearing my chakras at the same time. And that's how then I became a Reiki practitioner, because I was getting past lives stuck in the chakras that needed to be cleansed out. And they aren't necessarily the person's past life, it's the soul's past life. So the soul's eternal, not your human body. And so the only way to transmute any yucky past life, because on Earth, in the universe, it's polarity, and polarity is opposites. So good and bad, all of that, up and down, white and black, all of it. Any opposite, that's where it came from. This planet is the planet of opposites. Look at it. Literally, we have left and right. We have mountains, oceans. I mean, we have everything is opposite. We have good people, bad people, but they're all playing a role. I know I don't want to get too into the rabbit hole of the matrix on the planet and whatnot. I kind of wanted to keep it focused on, talking about your energy, how you're feeling going through this as we're going into the future. Here we are in 2025. I mean, I remember when it was 2020 and we were going through it, and wow, how we've come out of it, that's the one thing I would love to hear from you guys. And how is your lives going? How are these hiccups, the chaos? Are you able to get through the chaos of just in general, not being grounded, not being centered? Does it feel like you're going to jump off a cliff? I mean, that's kind of my thoughts of my podcast today, because it's important at the same time to be focused, to be centered on yourself, and hooking yourself up, and I mean by spiritually connecting to the earth, by loving her, by planting a tree. I know that sounds, for some people that might just sound silly, planting a tree or a garden or anything, for some people, I suppose it would sound silly, but it's a beautiful thing. And I know we mostly get there when we're older, like in our senior years, but why not get there now? Why not feel good now? And, because you can look and you can see how seniors then get to their age, 80s, 70s, 80s, and they're very humble because they love their family. They're so thankful that they were able to create a family, or maybe create a friend group that feels like family, or move somewhere that just feels so right. And that could just feel like a family, especially for the ones who don't necessarily have a big family. Yeah, it's amazing to have a different perspective in life ahead than wait until the end and have maybe 10 years of perfection versus 40 or 50 years of perfection. And that's just you being the best you. When I mean perfection, that just means you living your truth, you loving yourself, you looking at yourself in the mirror and you telling yourself, wow, I do love myself. A lot of us can't do that. There's like, I just don't know that many people who could really wholeheartedly say they love themselves truthfully, because they're gonna criticize themselves in some way. They're gonna say, "Oh, yeah, I mean, I love myself, but I could be 10 pounds lighter, or I could have blonde hair, not brown. I'd be better if I had, you know what I mean, more money and more things." And we're here to desire, and that's the energy. It's physics. So what you put out is what you're going to get back. That's plain to see. But if you don't put anything out good, and you're always just ramping up that negative by saying, I'm crappy anyway, so work's going to be crappy, my life's going to be crappy, and you hold that energy either way. And that's what I mean by planet of opposites. And so the beautifulness is you can live either way, and it's up to you to decide. And that's the free will. That's the beauty of free will, is for us, whatever time it is. It could be 5 years from now. It could be 2 years from now. And then you're like, okay, great. Now I want to give myself an honest effort, you know? And so I just think it's amazing that it's when we're ready, when it hits right, when it is right, and we just wake up one day and we're good to go, and we can focus on going within and focus on being our true best self. And to me, that's everything. If you are your true best self, it's great. It all works out no matter what. Um, and we're here to experience what it's like to have a family, and also what it's like to lose family members as seniors pass away, as just we do. We're not meant to stay here. We're all guaranteed to leave. We're all guaranteed to leave. That's the one thing we know. The truth is we're all guaranteed to leave. But also, the other truth is we can be here, we can exist here and be our best selves. That's also the truth. And knowing those things, it feels free when you don't lock yourself down so hard. So if you do live where you're bumping and grinding, make sure you give yourself some time to get out in nature, take a walk, go to those nice state parks. I know most states have them, even the small ones. It doesn't matter. It's just the whole fact of getting out there, smelling that fresh air, being in the sun, being gracious for your life, appreciating your life, appreciating your healthy, whatever it is. It doesn't, sorry, that was my phone. Just appreciating all of those things. Um, and oh my goodness, my iPad's ringing too. So funny. I forgot to mute all that stuff before I started my podcast, but no problem. Yeah. And so it's just appreciating yourself, going within. If you can find a practitioner in your area, that would be everything. To just, it's like going to the chiropractor, getting an adjustment. It's the same way. It's so gentle. They hover over each chakra, they center you. It's peaceful. They release things that don't serve you anymore. That's what I mean by support. And so here we are. Here I am, a light worker. There's other light workers out there. Thank you. Hi, I'm so glad you came to my episode. I always appreciate that. But yeah, so as a light worker now, my, I guess, agenda is to shine my light, say, hey, I'm here. I want to be available. I want to, you know, so you I just want to put my light out there for others so they can keep going in their existence, in their world, living their truth, their best life, enjoying every moment. And literally that. I mean, as I said, we are planets of opposite. This is the planet of opposite. So you actually can enjoy your life and bring joy in every single day, and not necessarily have to worship and have to, I guess you would say, praise God. You don't have to do it like that to be your best self. It's going within, praising yourself, praising Earth. I guess if we're going to praise anything, Earth is so precious. We're on her. We dump on her. I just think of all the things that happen to Earth. If you just look at it and you see it in a bit, that's why we're here. I mean, to protect her, to love her, make sure the ocean's clean, make sure our ground is clean, make sure that we do have trees and they don't get all cut down, make sure we do have wild animals in certain parts of the world. Obviously not in the cities, that would be weird. But but make sure we have beautiful lakes and rivers, and for the kids to come, for the young, for the next generation, and enjoy it while we keep it clean, while we keep it beautiful, and love on it. If we do anything, that would be everything. I think that's our main agenda, is to be here, to wake up, to release that what doesn't serve us. I think that's huge, is releasing it. I just don't think we are in that mindset. And as we are going into 2025, we're still like ramping up that energy, going into it. Yeah, it's amazing, the process of it, the energy. It has been really wonderful here. We have really good energy where I live. I feel the people are, I suppose, blossoming into their truth. You know, I put um, myself out there, and people are just loving, because before, not everyone really likes holistic healing. They just don't know about it. They would rather just, like I said, go to the therapist and take a pill, or go to the doctors and take a pill. When that just masks it, it doesn't really get down deep at the core of belief, and transmute it and release it. It's still there. Taking a pill, I mean, it would still be there. And so it's just important to dig down in there, release it. Um, that's why I love QHHT. That's why I love Akashic record reading and Reiki, because those three all offer it. They all offer it. And it's like the quantum healing you go under. And some people get intimidated by it, but not really, because when Dolores did it, she had over 10,000 people waiting at the end of her life. She had a 10,000 person wait list. I couldn't believe it. When her daughter said that, because we took the course and her daughter said that, I was just blown. It's amazing the amount of people that actually saw the truth coming out of her, that they wanted a hypnosis. They wanted to see what she was so pushing for. Um, yeah, and I love stuff like that too. I love to realize how cool we are, and like by closing your eyes, you can dream a dream, right? You can dream. But this is like you're consciously aware of this dream now. You're like, oh, this is neat. And it's really cool. And then, my Akashic record reading, usually my guides come in and I'm usually connecting. Depends on who is brought to me. So if you're a Drahmanan, it's going to be my Drahmanan guides that will step in and connect to you, or my Syrian guides. I also have been practicing meditation with my friends, and they had me go in through a dimension that had the hybrid children, and that was really neat. It's in a different dimension, so not necessarily physically on Earth or in the Earth. Most people are saying, oh, there's inside the earth, there's, realms that you can go into. They're realms. And so understanding what the dimension of a realm is, it's not physical. So it's a little different. But I did go in that way and go through meditation that way. I thought it was really cool. And they actually took me to when the dinosaurs were here. So I went into this dimension of like a hollow earth, and it was really beautiful in there, and they had a sun in there. So they had the sun, and they had the cycle of the moon and the sun. So I just really thought that was really neat. They kind of have the pale skin but bluish tint, and they absorbed their like energy through the sun, and certain levels of certain levels of hybrids were there. And then one grabbed my hand and we went out into the outside, so to speak. At least I thought it was the outside. And that was where all the dinosaurs were. I was amazed. They were still there. They were really still there. I was like, wow, holy moly. And luckily my friend was, mediating it. And she asked me questions of me going through there, and asked me, what I was seeing and all of that. And I just thought that was really, it was really neat, because I wasn't scared. It was more of like, are you, whoa. So me doing this for, I guess, like I said, 8 years, you practice, you get yourself strengthened. And once you do that, it strengthens your connection to the other side. So I know what I saw is true, and I know it to be true, and I know it not to be a fantasy. We try to trick ourselves and say, oh, that was fantasy created. And that's not really the truth at all. It was really there, and you really were able to connect. And then I went into the stars, and I actually have a connection to the Octurians, like I said before. And, just went with them, and we kind of navigated through what we needed to see and much more, of course. Um, And so that is the beautifulness of meditating, connecting to the other side, bringing that energy in, um, and just knowing it to be true. Just as analogy of oxygen, you don't have to have someone show you there's oxygen, or gravity. You just know it. It's down deep. You just know you don't have to worry about to breathe. There's oxygen. You don't have to worry about staying on the ground. There's gravity. It's the same kind of concept of just knowing the universe is there, and the extraterrestrial are there. And when we get scared of that energy, the reflection really is that we're scared of that power. That's really the reflection, is that we're terrified that we have that kind of power. And that really then goes down into the DNA. Our strands aren't all highlighted, like lit up. So only some of our strands are lit up. And as we go into this, every night that you go into it and they see that, the other side sees that you are upgrading yourself, working on yourself, then, they'll go in and they'll upgrade your DNA. That's amazing. It's amazing. We're almost, I guess Earth is like I just think so many of us have been on Earth and we've all tried it for so long, eons, eons, eons. Now it's our turn. Now it's us who get to play the role. I think that's what's amazing right there, is that there is a lot going on, and people have been here before, and trial and error, meaning they were here and they died. And it's amazing. I just think it's fascinating that we're here. We're here right now, that we have the opportunity to be the best us, go to the movies, go for a walk, hang out with friends, sit on a porch and just take it in. I mean, really, that is fascinating. I just think it's fascinating that we're alive and that we exist and that we're here to really support each other, and how it got stuck in the illusion that we can tend to be against each other. I've seen it, and I just really want to focus on being, available for each other and supporting each other. It's crucial, especially right now as we do go into the future, and just and releasing what doesn't serve us. That way, it doesn't weigh us down, and releasing old belief systems. So maybe how we were raised, maybe who cared for us and we thought didn't do it right. Release it. It's not you now. That didn't make or break you. You've got to release that. And that's I would say the biggest message today. And if you can't release that as you are here in the 2025, find a practitioner. Email me. Jen, JENN MWYS at Outlook. Send me a message. I would love to help clear your energy so that you can be grounded, centered, living your truth, not letting that stuff weigh you down. What if you didn't know how much you love to paint because you held yourself back by saying, oh, I wouldn't be good at it? But what if you picked up a brush and you were amazing at it? Right? So that's where I would love for you guys to be, as who's listening to me, as, boosting you up so you're your best self. Then when you're that, and if you do have a family, you trickle that down. And if you don't, you trickle it down to other people around you, to neighbors, friends, colleagues. We're not necessarily all by ourselves. And if you do make yourself completely by yourself, put yourself out there. Email me. I'm an introvert completely. I'm not always by myself, but I preferably like it better. But just my point is that you're not alone. I know we all say it, we all spread it, and just know that. And we can definitely feel like we're alone. And really, it's just the separation of your God source, of that energy that I was just expressing, that like this moth to the flame. That's why we feel alone, because we're detached. And that feels crappy. And you don't have to be your whole life like that. Know that. And you don't have to jump off a cliff. You don't have to crumble down into a ball and cry your eyes out because all hell broke loose. I get it. I know when that shit happens, it does suck. But staying centered, staying grounded, uplifting, what does that need? What is that reflection to me? Finding another way to take that experience in, good or bad. But as you lead towards the good, and as you start choosing the good, the greater good, going within, loving yourself, telling yourself you're amazing, that you have a good, you're worthy. You're worthy, or you wouldn't even be here. This is a master school, and you're in a master class. You're at the top of the chain, regardless if we want to say we are or not. We are. It's the hardest exam, the hardest class you could possibly take is to be here and now going through this transition on earth. The energy, chaos, like I said, everything's happening at once. And so all of that can be a lot for us when we're not centered and grounded and we're judgy and we're ridiculing. It breaks us down. It ages us faster. It makes the body sick. I mean, it's just so many things that it just doesn't do good for you by being that way. But when you realize you don't have to be that way and you change it and you start saying, it's a good day, and I did stop and I smelled the roses or flowers, or I said, wow, that's a beautiful patch of green grass, or wow, they mowed that so nicely, or, it doesn't even have to be grass. It can be anything in nature. And, I just love the smell of the air, and I just love springtime. It just is so great to just know that summer is on its way. So when you have that more of a vibration of uplifting to yourself, it doesn't have to be with a whole group of people or one person or your family, just you. Just start with you. And if that's stuff you say in your mind, and then when you're by yourself, you can say it out loud, you're more grounded, you're more centered. And that's what I mean by those things. And maybe you'll say, hey, you know what? Today I'm not going to have a McDonald's sugary drink. I'm going to only have 2 this week, or I'm only going to have 3 this week instead of 5. And I know that's hard because we're programmed. We're very, very much creatures of habit. So we program ourselves and we program what people say to us, especially if it's ridicule. And that somehow gets stuck in us, and we get stuck in that mentality of the fight or flight again, being hard on ourselves, maybe not being uplifting. So switching that around and really uplifting yourself, loving yourself, then it expands from there. It's never just that, it expands beyond and expands past all of that. So that's what I love about all that stuff. It's very nice. And then, you can enjoy the place you live and work at. You can enjoy the family. You can enjoy, And so that changes when you have a different outlook on life. And yet it may take, we don't all change in the drop of a hat just because someone says, here's a message, here you go, good luck, go ahead and change. You may not change. It may take you some time until something else triggers you, but just knowing that, putting that in your consciousness, that how worthy you are to be here, how great you are, loving, you know, and when you put an honest effort in for yourself, as we always put honest efforts in for everyone else and all the work we do, and to show our boss that we're amazing, to show this, even just living somewhere, you're like a citizen of a place, and to show them that you're a good person, why not show yourself, and why not do this for yourself first and then to them? To me, that is everything, is to put yourself first, to love yourself first, care about your body. Yeah, it's amazing how it all is, and how we kind of go through it. And that's why I wanted to check up on you guys and check in and see how the energy is going. And I hope to hear from you guys. I would think it would be so neat to hear your stories. And you can check out my other podcast with my friend. It's mostly Justine Phillips. And it's called Living in the Now. I think we put it on YouTube, is where we decided our platform would be. But I like Podbean. It's such a good platform, and I've been here for a while. It's amazing, and thank you guys all for listening to me. I have like 12,000, followers and downloads, and it's neat. I love it. And I appreciate it. And I appreciate you guys. And just for everyone who's listening, I just want to support humanity. I support the world, support, just have that support out. That's my reflection to the world, is that I'm that person, that I am compassionate, although I'm reserved too. I'm compassionate, but I don't let people just trample all over me. So there is a balance, of course, but always living your truth is the easiest way. It's stress free, and loving and easy, and joyful, definitely. And I appreciate that. I feel like that was such a beautiful podcast that I just did. Like, I haven't done a podcast in a little bit. It's been a month. I usually like to do it all the time. It's always my favorite to be able to talk to you guys and tell you guys tidbits, just kind of what's going on with me and what to experience. So, yeah, just anytime you ever feel like it's all going downhill, go outside, put your feet on the ground, close your eyes, and just tell yourself how much you love yourself and you're so thankful to have an experience. And that experiences are interesting here in the 3D, in a human experience, in a human body. I know these things seem silly at first, and I know some of them are great. There's going to be some of you guys that are like, this is wonderful, and some of you guys that are like, okay, this is a little different. Yeah. But just, it's, there's not a lot to it. So it really isn't that different. It's just loving yourself, appreciating you. And then when you do that, you can appreciate the ones around you. You're not stretched thin. They can be their best self because they realize, wow, you did it. I can do it. That's really what it's all about. It's not about anyone being above anyone. It's about us all getting there and us all appreciating each other, no matter if we know each other or not. We're human. We're here. That already connects us already. So, yep. I love that stuff. And yeah, so yeah, you can find me on any of those websites I just told you about. You may have to, replay it and hear it back, but dolorescannon.com, debbiesolaris.com, and then the International Reiki Association.org, I believe. Because it is nationwide, national, Reiki. Yeah. And then as well, I do have a platform on Happy Lion Center. That is where I have my my platform with my modalities, and you can book me or just book me direct. That's fine. But Happy Lion is HappyLyonCenter. HappyLionCenter.com. And and you can find me that way, whatever way you want to. They all work. I love it. It brought me to this, me doing my meditation, me just following that path of least resistance. It was just simple. And I started to learn these modalities. And what's amazing is here I am and I'm doing these. That's amazing, because I never thought I would be this person. So that's really, another thing too, is that here I am and here it is. And I'm just living my truth. And that's it. And I, put an honest effort in for myself. I meditate. I take care of myself. I do stop and smell the roses. I mean, really, it's the lilies and or not the lilies, it's the irises and the daffodils, because that's springtime flowers. But yeah, all of those. And I really do stop and smell them. I do. And they smell so beautiful and so new and refreshing. And I love the air in the springtime. It's so soothing and warm. It's starting to get that like warm breeze, and just it's nice. And I love spring. It's one of my favorite seasons, and I love every time of year. Every time I do a podcast and it's the season of whatever it is, I'm like, I just love it, because I love being here. I love being. I mean, I'm not the. I don't know. Yeah, I just love it. Yeah, I love it a lot. And my heart is full for Earth, Gaia, Mother Gaia. Just very, very in love with the idea that this is a masterclass. It's not going to be easy, but it is once you realize you're dealing with physics and law of attraction, of what you put out, what you get back, manifesting. We're manifesting every second of every day. And I've been having wild dreams. And I just mean like I'm somewhere else always. So I don't know what I'm ever doing and who I really ever am, but I love it. I love to be free with my thoughts. I don't want to lock them down anymore. I don't want to say, oh no, you can't think like that. Like bigger picture, like galactic. So I'm very much like, wow, we were Andromedans one time. We were Syrians one time from Sirius A and B and C. How about that one? Go galactic. And we all were, not just me. Your soul was, my soul was. You just don't remember it, which is fascinating. And you don't have to remember it. It's okay. That's why they bring us in with amnesia of not remembering anything. And that's why hypnosis is incredible, because these lives are popping up and you're like, whoa, where did that come from? So it's fascinating. So Yep, I will the next podcast that I plan to do. I would love to talk more about now that I'm at an hour. I think I'll be done today. I appreciate you guys coming to my podcast, listening to me, um, and maybe finding a nugget in there that just resonates so well with you and helps you along the way, gives you support. Yeah, so I really want to talk more about Sirius A, as my Syrian guides are always wanting to connect and bring more Mother Gaia information, um, because I would love that. And I love to be able to help guide people with that. Um, Great. I love you guys. I hope you are well today. I hope you can find happiness in your day. I know we all go through things. So if you're going through something so sad, my heart is with you. And I'm transmuting that heavy energy and sending you love and light. More love, more light radiating into you now. If you need this energy, it's going into you right now with love and light. You're not alone. Your angels and guides are right there for you. You are so loved. You are, and so appreciated. I mean, so appreciated. You guys all do hard jobs, and you all take on a lot of stuff in your lives. And when we lose someone we love, so my heart is just bursting for you guys. Just, I have so much love for humanity. So, so, so much love for you. And lots of light coming into you and surrounding you. I love it. Thank you for listening. You are worthy. You are a creator. You are sovereign. You are free. And you are God. I love you.